Hello and welcome to another episode of Truly Bedrock with me, Mr. Beardstone. Last episode, we added lots of life to the city. That took the form of vehicles and food stands and of course armour stands, but the problem we had is that they all look like villagers, and we don't like the look of villagers, because villagers are too stressful. So what we need to do is to try and get hold of the TBers' heads. Now, I know that lots of people have died. They've died quite a lot, we can see here from the list, so there are a lot of heads out there, but some people haven't died very much at all. So those heads are going to be a lot harder to get hold of because they're, well, basically really rare or one of a kind. But being the genius that I am, I have come up with a plan, and that plan involves us heading over to the shopping district. So let's head there right now. So over here at the shopping district, what we need to do is make a shop of sorts. And basically what I want to do is convince people that they should give me their heads, basically. We'll have a little place for them to kill themselves if they don't have any on them, and they will get rewarded in a nice way. Now, I haven't actually made the rewards yet, but my basic thinking is we're going to put up a big billboard somewhere, and just from looking at this shopping district, this spot here actually looks quite good. And it's going to be basically a big wanted sign. We'll get some of the TBers' faces on it, and we're going to offer to trade one of their heads for a token. That token can then be used to essentially get themselves a reward. And the rewards themselves, they are going to be Shulker Boxes, but not empty ones, of course. Each Shulker Box is going to be unique. It will have something inside it. Some of them are going to be, for example, full of golden carrots, so you've got food supply for a while. Others might just have a set of wings that aren't even enchanted. So they're all going to have decent rewards, but some are just going to be better than others. I haven't, however, made any of those rewards as yet, so the first thing we're going to do is focus on getting up a shop. And I think if we adjust the landscape around here a little bit, build up the front of the cliff, we can actually then just use the inside of this bit and have a big billboard on the front advertising what it is we're actually doing. In an unusual twist of events, I'm actually prepared, and I've got boxes and boxes of stuff and things that we're going to need for this. So we've got the cobble and the stone and the dirt for building up the mountain. We've also got the wood and all the bits we're going to need to make the big billboard. And I think somewhere in one of these, yep, this one here, I've even got the redstone. So we should be good just to crack on and get this built. Quickly as that, we have a billboard up which can be seen from across the server, which is amazing. That's exactly what we wanted. We need to be drawing attention to this area, but the inside has nothing. Absolutely nothing. So what I need to do now is figure out how I'm going to style this, and to be honest, there's a mine shaft and stuff right there, so I might kind of carry that theme across. We could maybe get some logs in and kind of have this looking a bit like a mine shaft entrance as well, maybe? I mean, there's no reason not to, really, is there? We can then carry that theme through to the inside, but before we do any of that, what I do need to do is figure out exactly how this contraption is going to work. I think in order to figure this out, what I'm going to do is start with the end result and then work my way back to how we get there. So obviously the end result is delivering a shulker to whoever pays for it. So I think for this, what I'm going to do is maybe put a dropper down here and have it spit something into a water bubble vator type thing, and then have that come across and then just drop the package into a spot on the floor. And I think that would just be quite straightforward and also look quite cool. So let's see if we can get something in right about here, shall we? So simple as that, we have a dropper that's going to dispense items into the bubble vator, which will then drop onto whoever's here. But now we need to figure out how to actually trigger it, and that is going to involve an item filter. So getting an item filter in down here should be fairly straightforward. If we just do that, and I'm actually going to put in an extra hopper because we're going to use that to check for something else to prevent the system breaking, and let's just do that for now. And then I need a piston. So we put a piston there and obsidian there. Do need to make a little bit more space around the back here. And then we put glass there, and get some redstone onto those three. And do I have a comparator? I do. So we'll put one of those in there. And then I think we just need a redstone torch on the front. And that should mean that this locks. Excellent. Just what we needed. So the next thing we want to do is quite straightforward. I want to make sure that essentially this whole system locks whenever this is empty, so that people can't basically pay in tokens if they're not going to get a reward. The question is, how are we going to do that? Well, that redstone got real messy real quick, but I think I've managed to get everything doing what it needs to do. So I'm going to attempt to explain stuff here now. Right, here goes. So this comparator here is reading whether this has anything in it or not. If it does not have anything in, then obviously all of these bits on the other side are unpowered. These torches are off, which means this block here is powered, which locks this hopper all together, so nothing can get taken through the barrel that's not currently there yet. Let's quickly put one there. There we go. And that will also power this block here, which is going to have a lantern on top. So basically, if the system is out, the light will be off, and anything you put in the barrel will not get pulled through into the hopper, because the hopper is locked. However, the other thing I also had to squeeze into this tiny space was the filter system, which obviously lets stuff through, and when something goes through this particular hopper here, it will register and it will fire the dispenser, which gives a reward. So if we put the correct filter items into the hopper up there, which I've actually just covered over with a barrel, we've got the stone for filters in there, and we've got head reward tokens. So we've got 41 in there, which means the next one we put in should make the system work. So let's quickly get all the barrels and lanterns and everything back in place. Okay, so let's give this a go. So we put our head reward token in there, and that dispenses our prize, which at the moment is a grass block. So yeah, not the best, let's be honest, not the best. But the system works, that's the important thing. Ah, did it not work that time? Well, it turns out this isn't going to work quite how I wanted, but that's not a problem. All I need to do is move this bit onto the other side. There we go, that's a much simpler system. So it's just reading off of this hopper, and that makes the redstone torch flash and dispense an item every time something goes through. And that hopper's now no longer being locked by a block that was there. So, yep, we've actually simplified the system a little bit there. Look at us, we're redstone geniuses. So now that should also mean that the system never fails. Okay, so that seems to work every single time. The next question is, what happens if we put more than one in? Okay, so it does just dispense the one item. So we need to make sure that people are only putting in one at a time. We're going to have to request that they do that, but that shouldn't be an issue. The important thing is the system works, and I just need to make sure that I can get in there and actually put the rewards in. So that's actually worked out quite nicely for us, because now we can have 9 items in there, 5 in there, and then we can have a bunch more in a barrel there, and that's going to be our prize items. So we just need to make sure that, well, I guess if we put 27 in there, we can fill up a barrel up here somewhere, where you actually exchange and get your tokens. So head reward tokens, for example, like that. So I've just removed all the grass blocks we had in there just to check that the system does actually lock as well. So yep, the system doesn't work when it is empty. So that is exactly what we were after. Let's see if we can make this place look a little bit nicer now, shall we? Short while later, and I'm much happier with how this whole area is looking. And we've got a box over here for people to exchange the player heads, and very clear that it is just player heads. We've got a door here that gives us access to actually reload the system when we need to. And of course, we've got when the light is on, we're in stock, which currently we are not. And this is working marvellously. So yes, can't currently put anything through because, well, no stock. So the other potential problem here is people may arrive and not have any of their own heads. They might not have any in storage or any on them at all. So we've provided a solution. So over here they can set their spawn point, they can put everything in there, and they can acquire player heads by going just down there. It's, well, you know, a quick and dirty method, but it'll do the job, and they'll respawn right here with a player head in hand and can claim a reward. So hopefully we'll end up with some player heads soon, and we can start using those around the city. So the last thing to do in here, of course, is to get the rewards in. So I'm going to head over to my base, I'm going to rummage through all the stuff and things, and we're going to create some tasty rewards. 27 in total, that's going to be quite a lot of shulker boxes. And the last of the boxes are in there. As you can see, we've got a variety of items, they're all good, there's nothing bad in any of them. Some of them are just a lot better than the other. I mean, even worst case scenario, they're getting a shulker box just for giving me their head. So anything on the inside is just a bonus in my opinion. This build is now 100% complete, so we can head back to our city and plan our next moves, and hopefully we'll get a few player heads sooner rather than later. Back over here at the city, we've still got a couple of empty buildings, and I kind of want to try and solve that today. Well, maybe not the theatre. I still have no idea what I'm going to do over there. But over here with the council-y style building, I think what I want to do is turn this into a chorus fruit farm, which I may have mentioned last episode, I can't really remember, but I think we should be able to do this quite simply. So my plan is to get a couple of layers of chorus flower farms up and running first, and to do those, we need to have a very specific formation in order to sort of maximise what we can actually get out of them, and that means we're not going to be able to grow too many on each floor. I think it's basically going to be around about that. Yeah, that's not really that many at all, is it? So for the flowers themselves, this should be quite simple, and the reason I've done it in this layout is because when they grow, they have a chance to grow up to 4 heads. So I've put them in such a way that they'll always be able to grow and won't be sort of restricted, because they also don't grow if there's a block next to them. So when it gets to the top here, it's all fine, it's got space, and then when they grow out, that will be as far as they will go. So we'll get between 1 and 4 flower heads from each one of these, which is that's pretty much as good as we're going to get. But because of this layout, we can do exactly the same thing on the next floor. However, I still need to punch out these bits above them, so let's quickly knock those through. And there we go. We now have 2 floors of the chorus flowers. They are starting to grow, and when they do their next growth thing, they will go off to the sides and give me between 1 and 4 of these flower heads. Obviously, if we only get 1, we're not really making a profit, so hopefully we'll get more from each and every one of these. In fact, there we go, that one there has just grown, and that is 2 more flower heads, and that is exceedingly quick. I'm still talking about it. I've literally just planted that, and it's grown twice already. One thing I do still need to do in this room, however, is apply some lighting, because if I don't, we are going to have problems. So that should pretty much do it, I think, and if I do that on the floor below as well. Okay, so now we're on to the last floor, and this is where we're going to be just growing the standard chorus flowers. So I do want to fill in these walls a bit just to make things a little bit easier to manage. There we go, much better, and this is going to be a nice easy floor. I'm just going to cover the whole thing in endstone, or maybe I'm not because I've just run out. I guess we need to go get some more. Conveniently for us, however, we don't need to go to the end to get some because, well, this server is messed up and we've got some just over here, and we only need a tiny bit, so I'm just going to quickly skim a bit off the surface here, and wow, that's looking cool. Go, and on this floor it's quite simply just going to be a case of planting lots and lots of the chorus flowers because we just want to get the actual chorus fruit from this floor, so we're just going to spam these around and see what we can get. And there we go, I think we are completely done in this building now, at least for the farm side of things. So we've got this floor which is going to get the chorus fruit for us, this one is mainly going to be flowers, and in fact we've got 3 on that one right there as it is. And this floor here is also flowers, but the bottom floor is empty, and we need to decide what we're going to do with this. So to be honest, on thinking about it, I'm pretty sure I just want to turn this into kind of like a lobby type area. So maybe have a couple of seating areas, maybe like a coffee machine, a few plants and flowers about, and then a reception desk with the entrance, of course, going up to the chorus farms up there. We can also use maybe a couple of these in the corners, maybe get a couple of chorus fruits down, and this will hopefully... Are they even going to grow? Don't think they're going to grow like that, are they? So maybe what I'm going to need to do is actually pull them out just a little bit to here. We can grow them and have them growing behind the reception desk just to show off a little bit more about what's actually happening in here, and they should grow up quite nicely. But I do need to figure out how I'm going to sort out the rest of this interior. I've gone and grabbed myself some things that should make this place look a little bit nicer, and I'm going to see what we can do. And I think the first thing I want to do is fix this wall, because that does not look right at all. Right, that's better. That will stop annoying me now. Okay, so first thing I want to do is just sort out the ceiling, and I'm thinking maybe we can put just a little trim around the side here, because around the ladder I do kind of want to block that off. And currently, we've only got top half slabs on the ceiling, so if we were to connect trapdoors to it, there'd be a gap. Putting that all around the edge though, however, will solve that problem for us. So, I'm thinking maybe a reception desk kind of in the corner there, because that ladder is actually off-centre for the width of the building, but it is centralised with when you come in the door. So I think if we do a sort of off-centre reception desk, that should balance that out and make it a lot less noticeable. There we go, simple as that. So let's see if we can get a couple of bits in to hide some of that end stone, because that doesn't look very good. And maybe, I'll tell you what, that one has actually stopped growing. We'll see if it will grow a little bit more. It might not, it might just end up being too tall, but that's fine. Okay, so next up, I think I want to get some sofas in. So maybe we could put one here. And I'm making use of the purple blocks, considering that is exactly what we're farming upstairs. So we'll put another sofa on this side as well, and maybe even put one in here, maybe? Yeah, I think that works. So these sofas are going to need some kind of table in front of them as well. How are we going to do that one? That's going to be a little bit too far out, maybe? Nah, I think that'll be fine. We'll leave that there, and we'll put another one there as well. So these lights are looking a bit garish. Let's get those covered up and maybe block off the ends of the sofas as well. On this side, however, I think I want to get some more lights in, and that seems like a good way to do that. So we'll just quickly cover these up as well. So that's coming along quite well. I think as a rough layout that's going to work. We just need to put in all the finer details and make it look a little bit nicer. And first thing I want to do is put in a little water cooler. Simple as that. So next up, I think I want to hide this ladder, and what I'm thinking is we'll just use some dark oak trapdoors, because that's going to tie in with the floor and the ceiling, and hopefully that'll stop it from standing out too much. Yeah, I think that'll do. So next on the list is going to be some foliage, and I think I want to start at the back here. So I've left a little gap so we can put in a few grass blocks, and then maybe we can get a couple of the azaleas in, because they always look lovely and add lots of colour. And maybe we could put one here as well, maybe? Yeah, that looks marvellous, and maybe we should stick a flower on the counter there as well. Look at that. So also on this side, I want to get some of these glowberries in, because to be honest with you, I just really like them. And they provide a little bit of light. Beautiful. So we'll do the same thing on that side. That will probably grow a little bit further as well, so might as well put that one in first. And we'll just stick a little flower there to fill in that gap. So this is coming along okay, but maybe we need a few paintings on the walls as well to mix it up a little bit. There we go, much better. A few simple paintings does really help the walls. And the last thing we're going to do, as you can see I've just taken out these bits here, is we're going to add a couple of shulker boxes, because we do, of course, still need to be storing the chorus fruit and the chorus flowers. We'll stick a quick filing cabinet in the back here, and a birch trapdoor here to act as some form of computer monitor. But I think we are now complete. The only thing it's really lacking, I suppose, is a few armor stands. Wonder if anyone's sold any of their heads yet, but it has only been a couple of hours. Nope, not yet, as expected, but that's fine. In time, we shall succeed. So in the time it's taken us to do that, we are now ready for our first harvest, so I'm going to quickly beat up all of these chorus flowers and see what we can get. Well, we got just over a stack of chorus fruit from our first harvest, which is marvellous. We also had enough flowers to be able to replant everything. I did make the fatal error of actually punching the stalks on a few of the ones that had multiple flower heads, so I did a bit of a silly. But apart from that, I think we are basically done here now, and we can move on to the next project. Although in saying that, the next project is the theatre, and I really don't know what to do with this place. But if you have an idea of what you want to see me build here, then do let me know. As I say, we could just turn it into a standard theatre. There's no reason it has to be a farm or actually have a purpose at this stage. We've pretty much got most, if not all, of the farms we actually need, so any others we build, we're just building for the sake of building them, really. But that doesn't mean we can't add more farms, but what do you want to see me do with that place? I'm really intrigued to see what you guys can come up with, so as I say, do let me know in the comments. Sadly, however, this is where we must draw the episode to a close, so if you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a like, and if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, and I will see you all on the next episode. Bye now. Well, that was a fail. Dang it.